My name is Emily Harper, and at 32, I thought I had my life pretty much figured out. I live in Chicago, work as a graphic designer for a mid-sized marketing firm downtown, and my days are a predictable rhythm of coffee runs, client meetings, and late nights tweaking designs on my laptop. Romance? Yeah, that had been on the back burner for longer than I cared to admit. After my last serious relationship ended 2 years ago thanks to a guy who decided commitment wasn't in his vocabulary. I'd sworn off dating apps and blind dates set up by well-meaning friends. It was just easier to focus on me. Weekend yoga classes, brunches with my girlfriends, and the occasional glass of wine while binge-watching whatever new series everyone was talking about. It was a rainy Thursday in October when everything started to change. I was at my favorite corner cafe near the office, the one with the mismatched chairs and the best lattes in the city. I ducked in to escape the downpour, my umbrella flipping inside out for the third time that week. The place was packed, as usual, with people huddled over their laptops or chatting in clusters. I ordered my usual oat milk latte with an extra shot and scanned for a seat. Nothing. Great. That's when I noticed him. He was sitting alone at a small table by the window, engrossed in a book, a half-empty coffee cup beside him. Mid-30s, maybe? Dark hair that looked like it needed a trim, a slight stubble, and these wire-rimmed glasses that made him look thoughtful, like someone who actually read for fun. He had on a navy button-down shirt, sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms that suggested he didn't spend all his time behind a desk. There was an empty chair across from him. "Excuse me," I said, approaching with my dripping umbrella. "Would you mind if I sat here? It's chaos in here today." He looked up and his eyes, hazel with little flecks of green, met mine. He smiled, not one of those forced polite ones, but genuine, like he was actually happy for the interruption. "Not at all. Please, I'm Alex, by the way." "Emily," I replied, sliding into the chair and setting my bag down. "Thanks. This rain is relentless." We chatted easily right away, which surprised me. Usually I'm guarded with strangers, but something about him put me at ease. He was an architect, working on sustainable housing projects around the city. He'd grown up in the suburbs, moved to Chicago for college, and never left. "The city's got this energy," he said, gesturing vaguely out the window at the blurred skyline. "Even on days like this." I laughed. "Energy? More like misery. But yeah, I get it. I've been here 10 years now. Couldn't imagine leaving." The conversation flowed. Favorite neighborhoods. He loved Logan Square. I was a Wicker Park girl. Best deep dish spots. We argued good-naturedly about Lou Malnati's versus Giordano's and what we did for fun. He admitted he was a bit of a homebody, loved cooking Italian food from scratch, inherited from his grandma. I told him about my design work, how I spent hours perfecting logos that clients would nitpick anyway. Before I knew it, an hour had passed. My latte was cold, and I realized I was late getting back to the office. "Shoot, I have to run," I said, gathering my things. But this was nice. Unexpectedly nice. He stood up too, even though he didn't need to. "Yeah, it was. Hey, if you're ever in here again, I'm usually around on Thursdays. Maybe we could grab coffee intentionally next time." I felt a little flutter in my chest, the kind I hadn't felt in ages. "I'd like that." As I walked back to work, dodging puddles, I couldn't stop smiling. It was just coffee talk, right? Nothing big. But for the first time in forever, I was excited about the possibility of something more. The next week, I found myself at the cafe again on Thursday, telling myself it was just for the latte. But when I saw him there in the same spot, looking up with that same smile, my heart did a little flip. "Hey, stranger," he said as I approached. "Hey, yourself." I sat down without asking this time. We picked up right where we left off. Over the next few weeks, Thursdays became our thing. We'd talk for hours about work frustrations, family. He had a big one, 3 sisters. I was an only child. Dreams. He wanted to design eco-friendly communities. I secretly dreamed of freelancing and traveling. One week, he brought me a sketch he'd done of the cafe window view, just because I'd mentioned loving hand-drawn art. It was beautiful, detailed, and thoughtful. By the 4th Thursday, the rain had stopped, and the city was crisp with fall air. As we finished our coffees, he hesitated. "Emily, I don't want to keep bumping into you like this by accident. Would you have dinner with me? Like a real date?" I looked at him, feeling that flutter turn into something warmer, deeper. "Yes," I said. "I'd love that." We exchanged numbers, and as I left the cafe that day, the leaves crunching under my boots, I realized I was falling. Slowly, realistically, but undeniably. That first date was on a Saturday night at a cozy Italian place in the West Loop. His choice, of course. He picked me up from my apartment in his sensible Subaru, no flashy car guy, which I appreciated. He looked nervous when he arrived, holding a small bouquet of sunflowers. "I remembered you said they were your favorite," he said with a shy grin. How did he remember that? We'd mentioned it in passing weeks ago. My heart melted a little. Dinner was perfect. We shared pasta carbonara and a bottle of red wine, laughing about our worst work stories and sharing more personal stuff. He opened up about his divorce 5 years ago. It had been amicable but painful. No kids. Just a lot of growing apart. "It made me cautious," he admitted. "But with you it feels different. Easy." I told him about my ex, the one who'd cheated and left me questioning everything. "I built walls," I said. but you're chipping away at them without even trying. After dinner, we walked along the river walk, the city lights reflecting on the water. He reached for my hand, and it felt natural, like we'd been doing this forever. When he kissed me goodnight at my door, soft, tentative, then deeper, I knew I was in trouble. The good kind. Things progressed steadily after that. No rushing, no games. We'd text throughout the day. Good morning memes, quick check-ins during lunch. Weekends became ours. Brunches where he'd cook me omelets loaded with veggies from the farmers. Market afternoons exploring art galleries, my influence, or hiking in the forest preserves outside the city, his. There were little conflicts because real life isn't perfect. One night, I got frustrated when he canceled plans last minute for a work deadline. I just need reliability, I told him over the phone, my voice shaking. I'm sorry, he said sincerely. I get caught up sometimes. But you're important to me, Em. More than work. He made it up with a surprise picnic the next day, complete with my favorite sandwiches and a playlist of songs we'd discovered together. By winter, we'd said, I love you. It happened organically. After a snowy evening watching old movies on my couch, tangled under a blanket, I love you, Emily, he whispered, brushing hair from my face. I love you too, I replied, tears in my eyes. It felt scary and right all at once. 6 months in, we took a trip to Door County for a long weekend. Our first getaway. Cabins, fireplaces, long talks about the future. He wanted kids someday. So did I. We fit. Now, a year later, we're talking about moving in together. It's not fireworks every day. There are mundane moments, like arguing over whose turn it is to take out the trash or dealing with stressful weeks where we barely see each other. But that's what makes it real. The quiet support, the inside jokes, the way he makes me feel seen and valued. Looking back, that rainy day in the cafe changed everything. Love isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's just two people connecting over coffee, building something steady and true. And for the first time, I believe in forever.